And welcome back, my co-host, Jenny Hutt. We are joined by Frank Taffy, is George Zimmerman's friend and an unapologetic supporter. His controversial comments on our show last week got a tremendous reaction, so I want to play a little bit of that for you. Take a look.
We had 7 burglaries in 11 months, and all of them were perpetrated by young black males. If our homes have been burglarized by Asian, rainbow, handicapped people, if you plant corn, you get corn.
Are you saying that all black males are going to rob you?
I'm not lumping all black males.
All the black males that go to your neighborhood might be ones who are going to rob you.
Don't take my words out of context.
Samantha.
Okay.
I didn't say all. Gentile was very good for the defense. She created so much doubt in that jury's mind. She was precious. Those are the words I can use. She was just precious for the defense.
Are you familiar with the character Precious? I mean, do you know who that is? You see the movie?
I don't recall.
A lot of people have made that comparison. I think it's mean-spirited. I think it's ignorant. And I think it's cruel. That's
retarded, ma'am.
Wow, you're helping your case. Bravo.
He had every right to carry that gun. Ag-bat is a forcible felony, just like rape. Does a woman who's being raped have to be penetrated before it's justified she killed a rapist? Think about that. Was he on your patient?
Does not have the same kind of intellectual or emotional process.
One at a time. Frank.
Was he your patient?
Back with us, Crystal Wright, Michael Skolnick, Miss Ali Sherazad, and joining us, George Zimmerman's friend, Frank Taffy. Oh, Frank, speaking of patient, I was a patient last week, and while I was lying there sick, the name Frank Taffy came up 1,000 times. The Twitter just came up for you right now. I'm going to put it up on the screen for you, just to get a sense of what I was dealing with at home, wondering what had happened to my program. Here we go. This is from Patricia Crosby. So, let me know when Taffy's off, then I'll tune back in. I'd rather chew glass than listen to him. So thank you, Frank. Thank you for being a little bit of a polemic lightning bolt here. It's good times. I appreciate you being back.
It's good to see you, Dr. J.
You're living on HLN right now, but Frank, I'm going to ask you to sit tight because I noticed that as soon as you came up on our panel, yeah, it's awesome. My panel started quivering. Miss Ali, you had something you want to say right away?
Yeah, no, I'm glad we have him on here. I'm glad we have Frank on here. We need people like Frank on television so that a lot of my people can see that they're not paranoid unjustifiably. This type of white man does exist. And it doesn't matter if the last 7 burglaries were done by black males. The last 2,000 lynchings were done by white males. But you always want me to say that all white men are lynchers.
Anybody?
But you said that, Miss Ali. You said that last week when I was on the show, that all white. You compared, I think, the Zimmerman trial to white lynching.
Wait a minute.
Excuse me.
Is that conservative orientation?
Hold on.
To white?
I want you all to be aware of something. Everybody, I have the ability to turn your mics off. So if you guys get out of hand, I will just one by one shut your mics off until you guys behave yourself, okay? So don't talk over each other. Michael's being such a good boy today. I'm going to go to Michael. Hang on, Frank. Michael, go ahead.
That's very kind of you. I would say this about my good friend Frank Taffy. You know, you are who you surround yourself with. And Frank Taffy is such a good friend of George Zimmerman that we have to wonder what kind of person George Zimmerman is. And if Frank Taffy is going to come on television every single night and make insensitive and semi-racist comments, and we have to wonder what kind of person George Zimmerman is.
State of Florida,
Hang on, Frank, go.
13 team, and listen, this is all prefaced. Let me share this with you. This entire case was prefaced over the fact that there was no probable cause. And Mark, you can jump in here and talk about probable cause anytime you want. I'll let you have it. But here's the deal. When George was taken down and Bill Lee said there was no probable cause, they took it to the state attorney. And that's where the rubber meets the road. Norman Wolfinger, with 27 years plus experience, said there was no probable cause. And it wasn't until Mr. Benjamin Crump wrote a letter to the Department of Justice seeking more information. It wasn't until Angela Corey was assigned to this then all of a sudden, my friend George, who's been maliciously prosecuted, and y'all need to jump on the Taffy train, because guess what? That
Hey,
other
Frank.
train's leaving town. You better get on board
No,
now.
Go ahead.
Let me get back
I
to
want to
Frank.
say something.
Frank, excuse me. I'm going to say something. Can I say something?
Yes, Crystal,
Please, I've
go,
waited
please.
patiently.
Go right ahead.
So, Frank, I agree with you, Frank.
Crystal.
Frank, can I talk, please?
Yep.
Frank, I agree with you. The fact that you have a type of person doing burglaries in a neighborhood and they all happen to be black suspects is something that the police talk about all the time. The first question I get asked, or my neighbors get asked, when we file a police report and call 911, what does the suspect look like? And the fact is, Miss Ali, Frank didn't say all black men are going around killing. He talked about a specific incident that you had a preponderance of black men in a neighborhood. And the fact is, Miss Ali, more blacks, excuse me, Miss Ali, more blacks are killing and more blacks are killing and are in
You will.
prison
Hold on.
than any other race. So I'm sorry you don't like that. We need to be talking about the root problem of what's causing this. And nobody's talking about what happened in Chicago last week. 62 people were killed in Chicago last week from Wednesday to Sunday. Where's your outrage, Miss Ali? Most of them are black.
That's not
200
true.
murders.
That's
Senator
not true.
Kirk of Illinois,
That's not
it is
true.
very true.
Okay, Crystal, hang on. Let's go to
It
Miss
is
Ali.
very true.
Miss Ali, then Michael.
True.
Miss
Yeah.
Ali, go ahead.
Where's the outrage? I don't see any outrage from you guys on that.
I have talked about this before, but this statement is specifically for conservativeoreochick.com. I have already been talking about the condition of black men and what has been happening in our community.
Unbelievable.
And it's sisters like you that come out here and pretend to be white because you think it's going to get you points with them.
I
And
am
you
not
try to
your
take their
sister.
side
I will
and
never
never
be your
else about us.
sister.
You absolutely are not.
Tell it like it is, Miss Ali.
And Dr. Drew, I can't believe you're going to let her say, call me an Oreo and
She's telling me like
that.
you want to
Well,
hear it.
telling
me like
how
you
would you
wanna
like me to
hear it.
correct that, Crystal? Is there something we need to do to make that
I think
okay?
you should stop it, and it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable behavior.
I
It's like
agree with
me
you.
calling you a bad
No, I agree with you.
Okay?
I absolutely agree with you, and I
Unacceptable.
apologize. I completely agree with you. I apologize,
Hey,
Miss Ali.
leave in the jar.
Frank,
But Dr. Drew,
Frank, go ahead. You got
Dr.
it.
Drew, let me get back to the
fact.
facts.
Frank, go.
Let's talk about probable cause in the state. It's not, look, the burden of proof is on the state. And until they disprove self-defense beyond a reasonable doubt, the jury must conclude that George Zimmerman acted in self-defense.
Okay, Frank.
Whether it's the charge of murder too,
Frank.
or even a lesser charge
Frank,
of manslaughter.
Here's the
That's
deal.
Dr. Drew.
You're being very rational. You're talking about the courtroom, but clearly this case, and it's the subtext of, no one's really talking about it. It spills into so many areas.
We can go off.
I understand that,
No,
but
you want to talk about hoodies?
listen, I'm going to.
You
I'm
want to talk
going
about
to.
hoodies and Skittles?
No, I'm going to talk
Okay.
about how we assess one another and I will, trust me. But here's the deal. We're going to go to break. I want to sincerely apologize if Crystal was upset with the words that were passed back and forth.
I was upset.
It was not appropriate. Frank, they were not directed at you. You guys all play nice in the sandbox here. You guys are doing fine. We'll reconvene this panel in just a second, all right? Are we all good? Crystal, are you whole? That's my question.
I'm going to go eat an Oreo cookie.
Okay, fair enough. All right, back more with Frank Taffy.
I'm going to have some animal crackers.
And later...
I'm not apologizing.
Crackers.
All right.
Hang on, bad boys. Later, our own Dr. Bill Lloyd will sound off on what Trayvon Martin's pot use perhaps meant for this case. Oh, and there's I don't know what that is. We'll find out when he talks to us later on, back after this.